Hello everyone, good afternoon. This is Kunal. I welcome you all to Pika's yet another 3 o'clock studio, episode 7, presenting a collection of best architectural design works from SEM 4, 6, and 9 by our own students. Now, Shruti will be sharing the work of Gaurav Nirmalkar, Anmol Lakhanpal, and Sanket Patel.
Thank you, Kunal. So today I will be presenting the work on behalf of Anmol's group.
A very good morning to all the respected faculties and jury members. This is Gaurav Nirmalkar representing the work on behalf and as a part of Group 9 along with my teammates Anmol Lakhanpal and Sanket Patel. I will be beginning the presentation with the site response which we derived from the site analysis. Based on these 4 parameters, we have derived the design strategies. First is the climate response, which concerns about the sun path and solar heat gain effect. South and west part being the most critical heating zones, glazing here must be provided with the overhangs. High performance glazing over every building skin proves efficient in hot, clear summers and dark, overcast winters. Orienting major skin with glazing on the north facade can help in capturing diffuse daylight. Biophilic design adds in reducing the solar heat gain effect for the building, thereby plays a sustainable role in the design. Further responses concerning the wind factor can be derived by creation of central courtyard space that aid in cross ventilation. The concept of wind tunnel helps in creating fenestrations which can be oriented towards the prevailing breeze pattern. In our context, prevailing wind flows from southwest to northeast direction. Long narrow built floor plans can help in maximizing cross ventilation. The natural ventilation factor is dominated by the presence of huge foliage banyan trees in the crux of the site. Elimination of the fewer banyan trees can be a good solution, and prevention of the existing ones can be carried out by root barrier or deflector method. The sensory parameters includes the utilization of high sound resistant glazing, which can be erected towards the west side, which has the peak noise decibel observation. Vision and spandrel glazing comes into picture for capturing the views of the tireless road adjacent on west side. Next is the analyzation of traffic circulation. An entrance from the top west side of the site is the best way to maintain the flow of traffic, whereas service vehicles can also occupy the same entry and exit gates with separate roadways. Coming to the next phase of the presentation, which are the case studies. This will include a very crisp comparative analysis of the same. Basically, these case studies were selected to understand the idea of the modern workspaces. Case studies included are RP Rajiv Goenka Group Corporate Office, which is located in Kolkata, Phi Science Park Drive Flagship Building in Singapore, T20 Tower in China. All these projects are completed recently and are in successfully working conditions. Studies were carried out for understanding the horizontal and vertical circulation inside the workspace. User study and analysis were carried out to understand the space accommodation for various users. As a part of BMS and integrated services, service core locations were observed. Other parameters like basement parking, long span construction, and sustainable measures were observed. And further, we derived with the takeaways and things to exclude. Moving ahead with the concept development. With respect to all the studies and analysis conducted, we came up with our concept. Our concept starts with the 2 beautiful quotes written by Anonymous. First is, people are desperate to come back together for some social interaction. Well-being is going to be even bigger than ever before. Second is, there will be a reduction in density by about 50%. Developers are asking if they need more office space. Moving ahead, with a large part of the global population working from home for the past few months, the question arises like how it would be scenario after returning back to an office environment, what it means and what are the changes required to create an interesting workspace. In our workspace design, users are being kept above all, and spaces are being defined with the flexibility of choice of space. With this, we derived with the concept of third space, which aims to combine working style outside the traditional office environment with different sets of users, creating a hybrid space. There are three approaches for this third space. First is a physical approach, which addresses the ergonomic needs of your team and provides solution that promotes active dynamic movement throughout the day. Second is the cognitive approach, which is creating a space that allows workers to focus on uninterrupted thinking, which is a key element to effective problem solving. And lastly, the third, which is emotional. It basically fosters social connectivity in the office. This approach can build trust among the colleagues and deepen one's sense of belongings within the organization. Each of these approaches plays a critical role while designing workspace environment. Creating a user-friendly interior space along with the maintaining social guidelines for post-COVID design is respected, whereas creating a central courtyard that act as a collaborating and breathing space for the whole building inside. We then put forward some conceptual measures that can be followed after the building execution. Precautions that are required for COVID or similar further future pandemic has been derived. Next is the conceptual massing, which we derived from the key factor of site response and concept development. This is a basic form, which was then subtracted with some parts, and finally massing was derived. Subtraction was done in such a manner that there is a way creation for wind to flow through the structure. So wind tunnel and atrium spaces were created. Shadow analysis were performed from morning, afternoon, and evening timings. 3 banyan trees out of 6 were eliminated to accommodate efficient space for basement and office infrastructure. Multi-story parking is adopted over 2 basement and ground floor. Admin spaces are massed on the ground floor and first level, along with amenities and small corporate offices. Second level includes small co-working spaces and related amenities, which are also connected to the small corporate office. The spatial organization remains constant till the 4th floor. The food court and auditorium are commonly accessible to both offices, placed on the 5th and 6th level. Medium and large corporate offices are massed on the above floor levels. Based on the rules, service cores and green spaces are provided. Total 5 service cores are provided, with the major core walls faced toward east to avoid bad view and towards south to avoid heat gain. Green spaces are provided on the west as a part of biophilic design. This is a site plan which displays the play of softscape and hardscape, which further defines the healthy building environment. A view taken from northwest side gives an image to the land which had no identity before. Coming to the ground floor plan, there are the drop-off points which leads the entrance lobby. This is the pathway for car parking which further leads to the basements. This is the rampway for getting down to the basement level 1. Whereas this is the rampway for coming up back on the ground floor. There are shops and driver parking and washing areas on this level. There are a total of 72 cars plus 35 visitor parkings, that is 107 cars on the ground floor, and 95 two-wheeler parking is provided. Total building area consumed is 41,970 square meters, whereas 13,015 square meters is left for future development. Area for RG on ground is 3,000 square meters. This is the view from the entrance lobby, which further leads towards a grand staircase with small glass cubicles popping over it. Skylight over the triple height spaces adds up to the interest. This is the basement level 1 plan, which has service areas and car parkings. Further, the ramp leads towards the basement level 2. Column grid adopted for the planning is 13.5 by 11.5 meters, and flat plate construction is adopted. Next is the first floor plan, where the orange portion is admin space and a common food court area is provided, which is demarcated with blue color. The grand staircase leads to the open space, which further connects the semi-open food court. Other spaces like gyms and bowling alleys also connects with this open space visually with specified service core entry exits. Second floor level has the common indoor play area and library with this further leaded through the continuous grand staircase. Other spaces like specialty restaurants and yoga and wellness center are present with a fair connection with the open space, which is covered with an openable glass atrium. Daycare and library shares a common breakout space, which is also a wind tunnel for permitting the good air inside. Co-working space start onwards from 3rd floor to 6th floor, where the planning is done with a play of flexible furnitures. The orange portion here are the collaborative spaces where users with daily and weekly basis emerges. This is a small illustration showing common phone booths. Further, blue portions are the dedicated workspaces where the users can buy personal desks for use. All these spaces are connected with rest spaces, which has a provision for night stays. Further, green portions are the breakout spaces, which acts as a partition over each space. The environment provided here is a barrier-free open environment, which encourages collaboration. The pink portion is a small co-working space dedicated for only women. This space is good for those women who prefers focused work. Again, there is a green landscape area which connects two different parts. Skylights here are provided for encouraging north light inside the entrance lobby. This is the woman-focused workspace area, which opens up on the northwest side, with louvers protecting the environment on the inside. Such kind of niche space encourages productivity in working. An informal meeting area is close to the landscape area is being displayed through these graphics. 4th floor. The workspace divided are categorized here as large, medium, and small co-working space, but the layouts of the plan is same as the below floor plan. The planning is done by keeping void spaces to not break the rhythm of the collaboration, and green breakout spaces connects each part of the space wisely without banging. This is the view from the dedicated workspace area, where a flexible play of furnitures can be experienced. Furnitures with different heights and scale open the choice of space for the users. Wall furniture is the main focus here. A work cafe is created as a common mingling space, which is further connected to the lounge cafe. This area is best for collaboration environment. As a part of fresh space, nap pods are being provided, which has a good connection with the indirect sunlight coming from the east side. Again, the 5th floor plan contains co-working areas where 3 stack containers are placed one above each other. Conference meeting happen over these places and further opens up to the green space. Other hollow spaces creates the volume of interiors, open and not packed. Over this floor, double height auditorium and multi-purpose halls are provided, where bigger meetings can be conducted for insiders as well as outsiders. As a part of norms, refuge area is provided on 6th and 10th. Further major portion of landscaping is done on this floor. Further from 7th to 10th floor, corporate offices are provided. As a part of category subdivision of areas like large, medium and small, the spaces are being further subdivided as collaborative, dedicated for desks. This is a view from the rooftop landscape area, which is on the 7th floor. This acts as a common mingling space and connects 2 parts of the building. Again, 9th and 10th floor are the dedicated for corporate offices, where the segregation of large, medium, and small corporate offices is maintained. On the 11th floor, separate amenities for the corporate people are provided, like auditorium and multipurpose hall. The 12th floor is the premium floor for clubbing and dining purposes, where the highlight becomes the outdoor dining spaces with landscape. Section A. Highlights of this section can be grand staircase, where the cubicles pop out. The landscape areas which connects two sides of the building, which acts as a common breakout space. Section B. This section displays the flow of circulation right from the entrance lobby to the open courtyard, which is formed at the center of the building. Further encouraging maximum north light inside the spaces was being fulfilled, where a harsh sunlight was being given barrier. The yellow light waves here represent the diffuse light, whereas the red lights ray are the harsh sunlight coming from the south. Further section gives the clarity on the open spaces formed in the center. Skylight is the main focus here. Wind tunnels are also observed here, and the direction of the flow of wind could be visualized. This is the west elevation where the maximum louvers and overhangs are created. Wind tunnel is provided on this facade to capture the winds coming from the southwest direction. Further details explain briefly about the artificial wooden louvers that are provided over the harsh sunlight areas. Maximum glazing work are being done on the north facade to capture the indirect sunlight the whole day. This is a hollow part for capturing north light over the grand staircase. East side has the major dead walls in order to break the bad view of the slums. South facade plays an important role on stopping the harsh sunlight inside the building. Here a play of louvers and random balconies popping out can be visualized. Again, major portion of the facade are the service walls, which are the dead walls. These are the further details of the louver fixtures. The design of the louvers was done in such a way that it can be observed from below the Thane Belapur bridge, where people can observe while moving from cars. It further sets a landmark to that place. Sustainable strategies are explained here, where the importance of green spaces are highlighted. Further shadow and heat gain analysis were performed for the building. Other sustainable features can be the rainwater harvesting routes, which are collected through ducts and are further collected in the rainwater harvesting tanks, which are located in the basements. This water can further treated and pumped up and can be utilized for flushing and cleaning purposes. Thank you.
Thank you, Gaurav, Anmol, and Sanket. Now, Vinda will be sharing the work of Dheeraj Narkade.
Kunal, just a minute.
Yeah.
Anmol, you are there, right? It was really great to have your presentation. Like, I hope there are 9th semester students and especially me also will be helpful from that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Now, Vinda will be sharing the work of Dheeraj Narkade.
Yeah.
Hello everyone, good morning. My name is Dheeraj Narkade. Our topic is about proposing urban institution of schooling the children from the poor and underprivileged communities. School is one of the most important phase in everyone's life, with lot of impermissible memories, and the vital role played by the school, especially by the government aided, have an imprint in every student's life. Education infrastructure are crucial elements of learning environments in schools and colleges. Also, government schools lack in providing their students a space for their yearly events or any festival to celebrate or a space to explore their student qualities. A mood is an affective state in contrast to emotions or feelings. In other words, people usually talk about being in a good mood or a bad mood. In student life, moods play a crucial role to being in an active state, to learn new things or just pass a time. Positive mood can be caused by many different aspects of life as well as have certain effects on people as a whole. The site is mainly surrounded with slums and people which are dependent on daily wages and idle making. So my main cause was to create such a space which will not feel user as a fresh to start space. Instead, it should appear to the student like their second home, where they can spend their maximum time of day and not only studying but also to explore their own different qualities. Then I understood that school is not just a building or teaching place, there are a lot more activities linked to it. Mainly activities contain different impacts of sunshade throughout a day in school. Then the journey to visit the school and within the school like journey from one classroom to another. Then for education purpose, education is also divided in two parts, formal learning and skill based learning, especially cultural based values. For example, how Gandhi Jayanti was celebrated because Gandhi Jayanti has a huge impact in Ahmedabad. Then analyze how every children passes from these stages connected with emotion throughout his or her life. So there are three basic stages of learning throughout life. The first 7 years, which is limitation, the second 7 years, which are imagination, and the third 7 years, which are judgment. Then this is a case study of METI Handmade School in Rudrapur. The primary potential for developing building in the rural area is the low cost of labor and locally available resources. The main aim of the school was to communicate and develop knowledge and skill within the local population so that they can make the best possible use of the available resources. Main challenges at community level around site is lack of education, which is also because of lack of money. Due to that, parents force their children to work and not to focus on the study. So my main cause was to create such space which attracts students every day and help to explore themselves, which will help them to learn new things and develop a sense of innovation and creativity within themselves, and also to create such space which will help them to create things which will be able to earn a bit for family, not only by creating a space but using locally available materials too. Then this is a CMR Ekkya school in Bangalore. The main aim of the school was children should explore space with no boundaries where they have the chance to touch and feel materials and respond to them. Then this is a rough proposed timetable for primary and secondary students. So most important in learning cultural based values are Navarasa, which means 9 emotions of human. There are different types of emotions that can influence the way we live and the talk to others. Sometimes it may seems like these emotions rule us. The action we take, the choices we make, and the perception we have been influenced by greatly impact our emotions at any given moment. There are 6 basic emotions that are universally experienced in all peoples, irrespective of this culture. These emotions are love, laughter, compassion, peace, wonder, and courage. So according to that basis, I being with site layout, where my main concern was not to make whole structure as a complete entity because every space has different impact and emotion in every student life. Also this helped to connect with surrounding more friendly, and because of ground structure, it also helped for disabled people. Then I being with planning. This is the entry of the structure from where we can see the glimpse of whole mass but not the entire mass, with focus toward multi-purpose hall. After entering structure, there is a car parking and bicycle parking, and left of it is a service road which leads to the service parking, which help to load and unload daily needs of kitchen. Then at right bottom there is a cluster which starts with reception and administration area, and next to it there is a principal cabins, and opposite to it there is an Anganwadi classroom which have their own small play area which help to cut direct contact with small children with primary and secondary students. At top left part it acts as a bit quiet zone. It has a IT lab, then outside reading and wall painting area, and science lab on left side, and library and common toilets at right side. Then at the bottom left, this is a cluster of classroom and primary secondary student. Adjacent to it there is a teacher staff area, so to access the classroom more easier and quicker, along with center as a midday meal area which will also act as a common gathering space with small courtyard. Next to it has a kitchen, and then this is a meditation and self-exploration space which is at a level of minus 2.0 meter, which help to create that space cool and quiet. Adjacent to it there is a dune sitting where students can spend their time while watching matches over ground and sit. Then this is a ground, it is a placed in north-south direction so that the harsh sunlight which comes from south it avoids that. Then this is an area of outdoor garden and sitting. Then at the left side this is a detail of midday meal area which also serve as a common prayer hall or a gathering space, where midday meal area follow Indian posture sittings for students, which will help to improve bonding between teachers, others, and relax the mind along with the small courtyards. Then this is the first floor plan which is accessed through ramp which are adjacent to the classroom block. Here the classroom area, staff room and toilet remain same, and the central part act as an idol making space which help to create small idols which can be carried at the end of the day or sell directly from there. Then at the left side first is the detail of Anganwadi classroom which have group learning and small indoor play area along with individual toilets for all Anganwadi classroom. Then second, this is a primary secondary classroom which have a small cut of windows which create a play of light within classroom. Then this is a roof plan to create every space unique and has a different impact and emotion. There are different roofs on all three clusters which also break rigidness and create more curiosity towards structure. Then at the left side, this is a complete site axonometric view. Then this is a section AA from where it first show primary and secondary classroom along with midday meal area and idle making area, and second it show Anganwadi classroom, principal cabin along with play area for Anganwadi children which will also act as a courtyard. Then this is a section BB which first cut through IT labs and then second through meditation area along with buffer area as a dune sittings, and then third as a primary secondary classrooms and staff room, and at the end which show car parking. This is the view of meditation / self-exploration space where main aim to create this space was to create feeling of careness, self or protected space as mother keep care of his or her child. Then this is a sectional view of the classroom clusters. To reduce the overall cost and maximize the use of locally available materials, bamboo is used as the primary element. It can utilize as a permanent or temporary and easily reconstruct. Bamboo is non-polluting and does not have crust or part that can be considered waste. Instead of adding to the problems of polluting landfills like conventional building waste, any part of the bamboo that is not used is recycled back and can be used as a fertilizer. Also, it saves time for construction due to its circular form and hollow sections. So this is the complete flow of classroom cluster. Then this is a section DD which shows service parking, then IT labs and library cluster along with outdoor reading and wall painting area, and then dune sittings which are playground facing. Then section CC shows IT labs with landscape buffer zone, then toilets and classrooms. This is the library and lab cluster where main aim of the design in this space was to create the unification of space with different ethnic groups of students with different cultural background under one roof, along with quiet and stillness to the complete cluster. Gaps between the roof let the fresh air and sunlight in, and due to extreme weather, to maximize the use of rainwater, collection through the roof to the water canals with layers of sand and gravel are provided. Considering the high temperature and humidity, the double roof structure besides the protection from the direct sun rays, it allows fresh air to flow in and drop the indoor temperature. Then this is the elevation of Anganwadi cluster and IT labs and library cluster. Then this is the Anganwadi cluster. The bamboo roof slightly raised above has two advantages. The first is the natural ventilation in structure, and the second one is to protect children from direct sunlight. Therefore, the light inside the structure is diffused and soft. The main central part, which acts as a play area for Anganwadi children, also acts as a rainwater harvesting during rainfall, which collect water and can directly use for washrooms. Then this is the view of library open sitting and wall painting area. This is a collage of overall context with site and small part of structure. This is the view of dune sittings of playground. Also for landscape, different colors of flowers are used to create a different impact in every corner of school. Then this is a view of Anganwadi and classroom floors. And then this is a view of complete site. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dheeraj. So Siddhant Moria and Sugandha Das from SEM4 will be sharing their work.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are here to present our SEM 5AD project. Before we begin, we would like to express our sincere gratitude towards our faculty members and our guide Tushara ma'am for guiding us throughout the process, and 3 o'clock studio for giving us this wonderful opportunity. Good morning, respected jurors and faculty members. Chosen project for this SEM is museum, situated in outskirts of Daulatama. No context stays static. It seeks manifestation that's appropriate to its time and space. Hence, it was important to understand nature of city and reflect its context, and nature of museum as well, its circulation, flow, space typology, etc. Nature of museum was understood through various national and international case studies. Some of the elements incorporated in design by going through various case studies are marked and highlighted. Further, documentation of site analysis and its condition were done. Daulatabad falls on route of all major heritage. First, all means of accessibility were listed. Type of roads were documented. These data, such as means of accessibility, depicted that proper parking was required on the site. Site context. Natural features around the site is gigantic Daulatabad Plateau, contributing on good view. Rest is majorly covered with green belt, keeping temperature cooler comparative to city. Very fairly dense social infrastructure. Major road network is highway. According to analysis, these are the neighborhood. According to the analysis, the neighborhood structures affect in various ways. These are the active periods according to which. According to analysis, two major users are tourists and local people who are majorly visiting the site in this active period. So we came up with the consideration of proposing temporal intervention during these active period to attract more users and keep museum engaged throughout the year. Going through history and city morphology, we came up with inference that Aurangabad is primarily made of old city with UNESCO heritage site and extremely rich in history. And on the other hand, fastest industrialization in India. To contrasting character developed in same city, making it extremely interesting and highlighting character of Aurangabad. The historical structure juxtaposed with modern structure and city skyline, as shown in the image. The strategic location of our site at amalgamation of both should reflect the same. How design is contextual. First, historical context. Design depicts amalgamation of historical architecture with contextual elements like arches, minarets, etc. On facade symbolizing futurism and postmodern style. Contrast on the main facade. Culture of interacting in common area like atrium found in vernacular architecture incorporated in design. Major opening exposed to north side and glass used on north facade, etc. Locally available vernacular material like basalt, mud brick from near vicinity. According to overall analysis, on basis of these parameters, site response was conducted. Zoning with help of agency matrix. Later, zoning was transferred into detailed plan. These are the initial schematic plans. And these are the contextual elements of Aurangabad. First, a solid volume was placed along north-south direction for summer shading and winter heat gain. Further divided according to functional requirement. Various orientations with help of block model or responding to various parameters, good views, prevailing winds, etc. were taken into consideration. After that, atrium intrusion was introduced. The front facade was curved so to maximize the intake of diffuse light. Curved facade also maximized good view on north side, giving panoramic view, making structure more outward looking. Transition of space was inspired from viharas, from open to semi-open to enclosed. Users passing through space can feel this transition as shown in schematic diagram open to semi-open to closed. This is 3D zoning. Galleries were placed away from the main road, having the silent space typology. Accessibility and opening were provided. The major prevailing winds on the site is from northeast direction. Trees act as buffer. The air through opening enters the buffer area that is the atrium. There, the hot air rises up and exits the structure, making space for more cooler air to enter. The passive design strategy adopted was stack effect. Inspiration of arches from Daulatabad contextual reference was taken into consideration. Final massing. Final massing with introduction of contrast on main facade to give dynamism to the structure. Shadow analysis was conducted. The winter sun, mainly being inclined towards south direction, cast shadow on this part of the structure, falling on the back of the structure. The summer sun, being majorly inclined towards north direction, cast shadow on the main facade. As observed, this area of the site is shaded throughout the day, hence proposing resting space, passive recreation, such landscaping elements was taken into consideration. After massing, being hot and dry climate, roof was most important to develop as it receives the highest amount of heat. Since schematic diagram stage, curved roof was taken into consideration to go with the flow of terrain. Different roof profile and play with light and shadow was conducted. This is the stages of roof development. Final roof plan. The inspiration was taken from Daulatabad. Structure surround the character of city of structure being surrounded by landscape was incorporated. The roof is long barrel vault. White color of the roof as roof receives maximum amount of heat, so it will reflect the same. Ridges were provided on flat part of the roof. It was observed that this junction was forming node. If we provided entrance here, it could cause disturbance of entire floor near the structure. Hence, the entrance was provided at the end of this part, entering the structure through 4.5-meter road. One ticket counter was provided in parking area and one near the main entrance. Through this, the vehicle goes in the parking area and from here moves out of the structure smoothly. This is the spread of parking area at -5-meter level. From parking, user can directly enter to the structure that opens near the waiting area, as observed in this schematic section. Ramp is provided in parking area that directly opens near cafe for loading and unloading purpose. This is the ground floor plan. The user enters from the main structure through ramp. Stairs and ramp both are provided at main structure, which directly guides them towards the reception area. From there, they are guided towards the first gallery. After visiting the first gallery, through stairs, they can go to the above gallery or come out and visit other galleries on the same floor. After that, they can move out and visit the cafe. 1:12 ratio of ramp is provided, making easy accessibility and making the structure barrier-free. The entry point from parking and main structure directly opens near waiting area. Admin area is intentionally placed beside ramp. Since having the private space typology, it should not be directly visible from main area. The toilets have corridor so that it is not visible from main area. Cafe, being the noisy space, is placed away from the main structure. The stairs in the gallery that directly connects to the above gallery makes easy accessibility. Also gives user choice to move and select the space they want to visit, which makes them more involved in the process. On first floor, user visits the wall artifact gallery first. This space acts as balcony, outlooking towards cafe. This view is from cafe of the balcony. When user comes to this part of the corridor, when they look out, they get the beautiful view of the landscape and the terrain of Daulatabad. And on the other side of the structure is magnificent double-heighted atrium. The atrium has ventilation on the above, making space for hot air to exit. The framework is provided through the skid which imitation of cannon is hung. Multimedia is provided in the gallery at start of the flow to make users get more involved in the process. After this, user can smoothly move down through the ramp, visit or interact with the multimedia space, or directly move out up and approach towards the cafe.
Here's the functional arrangement according to the contour. First, we have the atrium along with the admin, WC, and the waiting, placed in the proximity on the level +5 meter. They then entered to make the outward looking structure utilizing the good view. It is continued with the galleries, which are placed a meter below, along with the contour, which helps in achieving the high ceiling height, making ample amount of space for the structure sculptures and the artifacts. Later, a level below, there's the cafe, which is a noisy space. It is placed far away from the galleries that intend to incline the users to visit the galleries first. At last, we have the underground parking on the bottom placed along the contour. Landscaping brings liveliness in the plan. Here, there are the different types of trees planted in the site are shown. At the bottom, there are the existing trees and the proposed trees. Also, the Lotus Resort is just 72 meters from the site, which is a noisy space. So trees are planted on that side, which acts as a sound buffer and screening. Different plants and flowers are also planted near the WC to prevent foul smell. Stones from near vicinity were used to slow down the flow of water from entering the parking area. Now, the landscaping elements are shown. Natural logs found in or around the site are used, which gives a natural surrounding feeling, a contextual feeling, playing with the volumes in different ways. Cannon installation was placed near the entrance, acting as a resting place, outdoor waiting area, at the same time reflecting the immediate context as well. Daulatabad is visible from the human eye level from the site. The attempt was to establish visual connection and trigger the curiosity regarding heritage. Moving utilized as a medium of engaging and conveying information. This area can act as a small amphitheater as well. So, topiary method was adopted for landscaping to reflect the unity in diversity in culture in the city of Aurangabad. It also acts as an outdoor waiting area and passive recreation. This is the 3D isometric visualization of the site with landscape. Entry gate is shown in reflecting context. These are the design considerations for the galleries. The lighting is the most important part in the considerations. Now we come to the galleries. Art and Sculpture Gallery. This is the sculpture and painting gallery. The flow of this gallery is also organic, but yet in some ways directing the users throughout the gallery. The material used for the wall is facade to reflect the Ajanta Ellora to give a rocky look. Waffle slab is provided with the lighting detail to minimize the entrance of column in the gallery. Hanging spotlight at 60 to 70 centimeter distance to highlight the painting. War and Artifact Gallery. This gallery exhibits the war and artifacts, majorly highlighting the history of Daulatabad. We have kept the circulation of gallery organic. The massing in the interior of the gallery represents the terrain of Daulatabad. This was to trigger emotion and curiosity to connect with the space and landscape of the site Daulatabad. Next, we have Textile Gallery. There are a number of elements placed in the gallery to exhibit different types of fabrics along with the traditional machinery used in the textile industry in a spiral flow so that the users may view the gallery properly. Why are the galleries with terrain context? To develop a strong context, to connect with the space, to evoke an emotion as a response. Now we come to the sections. This is the side section with the key plan on the top. The underground parking can be seen on the lower levels of contour. Accessibility from the parking is provided, which opens up in the atrium, so the user don't have to walk through the entire structure again from outside. The structure stands apart from the backdrop landscape, depicting the juxtaposition and considering its historical context on the site itself. The section clearly explains the massiveness of galleries with respect to the human scale. Also, water channelizing strategies are shown on the right. So during the rain, water won't get flooded in the parking. It will properly channelized. The first section cuts to the side diagonally, showing the reading space, AV room, toilets, and the admin, along with few landscaping elements. The other side section, which cut through all three galleries. It shows the small openings which provide natural ventilation as hot air escapes from the top. Now there are elevations showing the facades on different sides, also giving an idea about the materials used in the facade. South side, having the most harsh sun rays, it is provided with false facade. Contrast in terms of material uses reflects the concept. How is the design environment friendly? The use of passive design strategies along with locally available materials. The elements which also makes the design interactive, which include digital multimedia as well as social spaces in viewing the nature. Also, ramps are provided on every level drops, which makes the design barrier-free. Use of such elements which can be used for users to sit and have passive recreation, also which can be used as the open exhibition. This provides flexibility in the design and makes the structure more interactive and engaging. Later, we have the construction details. Stripe section is shown on the right along with the wall and gutter details. Then this exploded diagram showcases the RCC beams and the columns. The material used for the construction are basalt, mud bricks, stone aggregate, and wooden framework. Then the skeleton structure for the glass dome is shown. These are the details for the ramps as structure is variable. These are the details for the basalt masonry and retaining walls. Here we have the 3D view of the structure, which also showcases the underground parking along with the south facade. At last, we have the front facade. Our intention was to make this facade most interesting and different, giving identity and symbol to the structure. The concept and nature of the city will prevail for a long time, giving timelessness to the music. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Siddhant and Sugandha. We enjoyed watching it. With this, the event comes to an end. Thank you, Dr. Sudhya ma'am, all the faculty members, the students, and the council body for your time and contribution in making the studio a grand success. Have a great weekend. Thank you.